Well, here we are on the Noosa River. It's a really, really pretty place. I've never seen reflections like it. When we get up in the morning, it's like a mirror image, whether it's the black stained tannin water or just how clear the water is. I've just never seen reflections like it. Also in these waters is the Australian bass, and that's what we've come here chasing. The Australian bass, I love that fish. They hit the surface, and when you see them hit the surface, it's a giant spray of water, and you're just like, yeah, that's the fish I want to catch. Sometimes, like when it gets sunny, you need to probably go to a subsurface presentation. But then when you're camping in a place like this, you set up camp, pull the kayaks up on the beach, and just wait. Because you know that sun's going to set, the bass are going to come on. Pretty special place up here. We've travelled 20 odd Ks, can only bring kayaks up here, no power boats. You know, 20 Ks is a good day's paddle, so you're not coming up here for a day session. You're going to come up here and you're going to spend a day in one of these campsites. Bringing gear up in a kayak like this, it's pretty easy. You just put it in dry bags, pack it on, paddle up. If you want to, do what we did on this river. We stopped halfway through, stayed at one campsite, came all the way up the top, had a good day's fishing. Now we're going to head back down, stay at another campsite, just break the trip up. You don't have to be a marathon man, you can go as far as you're capable. But if you want to get right into the pristine areas where no one goes, then you're going to have to really paddle. You know, I really like kayaking because you're basically the motor for it. So you know, you're putting in the effort. What you want to put in is what you're going to get out of it. So you know, a little bit of training, a little bit of dedication, and you can easily paddle one of these things for a day, no hassles at all. They just glide through the water. What you do need is, if you do a trip like this, you do need a larger kayak. Smaller ones do a bit of a flip. But the other hassle is you need to bring everything into these locations. Water, food, and then you got to take everything out. You don't want to leave anything behind here. This campsite we're at, there's bush turkey, wanders around the campsite, digs everything up, makes a huge mess. You don't want to leave food for the natural animals. You want to enjoy these environments and then leave them how you found them. Love the Australian bass. Don't know how long I've been fishing for. I think it was the very early 90s, but I still remember that first fish. I was flicking lures off a sunken bridge in a dam. I'm watching that stump jumper come back up. It was a frog-coloured stump jumper I've still got. It was coming up, and all of a sudden behind it, this gold monster fish materialised behind it. It was like, oh, didn't hook it, but since that moment, just seeing it come up behind the lure, I've been sold on it. Since then, I've caught heaps of them. But if I had to choose a way to fish for it, it's surface fishing. You flick a lure into a snag and you sit there and you watch it. Sometimes you give it a few twitches. If you're more like me, you just throw it in there, retrieve it out, and the bass will just come and smash it. It's so visual. Oh yes! And you get somewhere like the Noosa River. Last trip up here, they were hitting the surface continuously. They'd have a go 3-4 times before up. Finding it a bit hard this trip. Something strange is going on. Even the ones we're getting a hit on the surface, it's not really an aggressive hit. They're sort of just coming up, giving it a bit of a slap. A couple of the ones we got on the surface were getting hit in the belly. So they're probably coming up and trying to roll over it. But each day is a new day. Something might turn them on. The wind might change. It's been windy the last 2 days. Today's perfectly still. Maybe tonight that will turn them on. Temperature's gone up a bit today. And, that's another thing about bass fishing. You never know what's going to happen. Each trip's different. Sometimes you're going to a place and you might score a dozen bass. Next trip in, you might get a donut. But it's the environment that you're in. You don't get to see this while you're sitting at home. You've got to get out there and see it. It's awesome.